And today's topic is why you should not close down your credit cards. All right, so the short answer and the quick answer is no, you should not close down any of your credit cards. So I like this question a lot because I see it primarily on television shows like CNBC, from talking heads that like to say that credit cards are evil and bad, and they warn people to, cut up their credit cards or close down their credit cards. I vehemently disagree, especially if you're somebody that has a thin credit profile, meaning you only have, let's say, 5 cards or less. I know some people that only have 1 or 2 credit cards. For those people, my answer is definitely not. For everybody else, it's just no. And here's why. Number 1, payment history. Remember, 35%, the biggest variable that makes up your credit score is payment history. So the more credit cards and accounts that you have, the more opportunity for positive payment history to be added to your account. The more, the better. That takes up the biggest piece of what makes you having a great credit score is that credit history. And the more you take away from that, the more you're reducing the impact that credit history can have on your account. So say, for example, you have a credit card that you've had for the last 5 years. You've been paying on time. It's a great account, but you listen to someone that told you, go ahead and just close it. Credit cards are bad, close it. And then you close the account. What you're going to see in the short term is not much, because credit cards, even if you close them, they stay on your report for about 7 to 10 years. However, the day that you close that credit card account, even though the past payments still remain, you're not able to add any new payment history on that account. What does that mean? That means in the long term, after 7 years, all of the good job that you've been doing with those 5 years of payment history is going to be removed off of your account. And we want to keep as much positive history on our report for as long as possible. So in the short term, you may not see an effect, but definitely on the long term, that good work that you've done is not going to be there anymore. On the flip side, if you have a new account, if you're taking the strategies that I'm giving you on this channel or that you're getting from our course, The Money Codes, I always say adding trade lines and new accounts to your credit report is like the planting of seeds. You may not see any fruit from it in the short term, but every year that you maintain and you keep positive history on these accounts, every year that goes by, you're growing something that's going to add more stability and more strength to your credit profile. And in the future, that seed that you planted today by creating an account and taking care of it, it's going to offer you shade in the future. It's going to offer you fruits in the future. So let's get out of this short-term way of thinking. Don't close any old accounts. And if you have new accounts, I always tell people, if you're planning on getting any new accounts, don't get any account that you don't plan on keeping for the long term, meaning 5 years and ahead. If you cannot see yourself holding on to a card or into an account more than a couple of years, don't even apply. Trust me, don't even apply. So let me give you an example of the benefits of having multiple accounts that you never close, how that will positively affect you in the eyes of the credit bureaus. So let's say you're somebody that only has 1 credit card, only 1. And out of 12 months in a calendar year, that means you have 12 potential payments that you could make. Let's say in that year, you miss 1 payment. That means you made 11 payments out of a possible 12 payments. I'm not a mathematician, but basic math tells me that equals 91%. That's a 91%. In school, that may seem like a good grade. To the credit bureaus, not so much. 91%. One missed payment will take you from 100% payment history down to 91. And you can see right above me what 91 is categorized in the eyes of the credit bureaus. Now, hypothetically, let's say you have 5 credit cards. Let's say you have 5 credit cards, and in the course of a 12-month calendar year, that's 60. That's 60 potential payments that you could be making. So let's say you are someone that missed one payment. You missed only one. So that's 59 out of a potential 60 payments that you could have made. What would your score be? Your score would be 98%. That's an improvement. Both examples, both people missed one payment each. One person will be negatively impacted less than the other person. This is why payment history, this is why having multiple accounts that you take care of and that you pay on time, it helps cushion you. There's less of a blow if you miss a payment. If you only have one account or 2 accounts, if you make a mistake and you miss a payment, it's going to hit you a lot harder than if you have 5, if you have 10, which I recommend everyone have, at least over time. Having 5, 10 or more accounts and you make one mistake is not going to impact you as negatively as if you only had one account and you missed a payment. So I hope that makes sense. Another thing to pay attention to, you're going to be affecting your utilization rate. And if you've seen my other videos, you're going to understand that your utilization rate is, for example, if you have an $1,000 or let's say a $10,000 credit card, but you only use 1,000, you have a 10% utilization. That's good. But if you have a $10,000 card, a $10,000 credit card limit, which means you have $10,000 available that you could potentially spend, you have that card and then you cancel that card, that potential $10,000 is not going to be reflected on your credit profile anymore, which means the benefits of that high balance will no longer be on your account. So especially if you have a credit card account that has a very high limit or has a lot of years, 4, 5, 6, 7 years on that account, please do not cancel that card. Don't cancel it. Now, there are some people that are going to be in the comments and say, I don't want to pay a card that has annual fees. Have you attempted to call the credit card issuer and ask for the annual fee to be waived? They could do that. So before you think about canceling your card, think about calling your credit card issuer and asking to downgrade or switch to a different product that doesn't have an annual fee. That way you keep the history on that card that you don't like, and then you can go down to a different product or go to an adjacent product that doesn't have that fee, and then you can just keep it. Keep the card. That means you're going to keep that high balance, that high available balance, and you get to keep all of those years of swiping the card, making payment. You're going to keep all of those payment history preserved, and that's what you want to do. Remember, 35% of what makes your credit score is payment history, and 30% is usage, aka utilization. So don't mess with those things. Last bonus tip is invest in something like this. This is just a basic card holder. I actually have a couple of these. As you can see in here, I have about, I think, 40 cards in here. Not all of them are just unsecured credit cards. Some are store cards, some are merchant account cards. But what I do is I have something like this, and you can purchase something like this for 20 bucks on Amazon. Go ahead, and the cards that you are applying for and the cards that you use and don't even use, keep them here. Keep them in something like this and put a sticky note, or have your phone and keep a schedule of the last time you made a payment or the last time you have purchased something with that card. And every 4 to 6 months, this is something that I do. every 4 to 6 months, I go online and either I buy something like some basic t-shirts or some socks, or I'll go to the gas station and just fill up my tank. I pay that off immediately, and then I take the card and I put it right back in this card holder. And then I don't touch it again for the next 4, 5, 6 months. So if you're not utilizing and you're not using any cards, that's not a good enough reason to cancel that. Put them in a card holder, use them once every 4 to 6 months, and then put them in the closet somewhere. So what you're going to see is, if you utilize this strategy, you may not see the benefits today, but in the next 2-3 years and in the future, as you build this foundation, this is going to benefit you greatly. So trust me on that. So again, the short answer to the question of this YouTube video: should you close down your credit cards? No. Just no. If this video has given you any value, you already know what to do. Please like and subscribe, and also please put down in the comments any other questions or concerns that you may have. I would love to go ahead and comment on those and potentially create another video. So I will see you in the next one. Peace.